David Platt receives death threat from staff member. I'm not in a good mood. It is July 19, 2021. What is happening? David Platt's a nice guy. Why would a staff member threaten him? There's the guy right there. This gentleman right here. Seen pictured here in a BLM rally in Washington, D.C. A supporter of BLM threatened David Platt's life. Let's take a look at the clip. Here's a clip. Here's the meat of what I'm going to say, and then we're going to unpack it in the next couple minutes.
Totally honest, so being angry about the situation, but it's difficult for me sometimes not to just torch all white people, because in particularly white evangelicals and Christians.
That's a man that's on staff at David Platt's church. David Platt, a white man, an evangelical. This guy says, you know what? Sometimes I get so upset, I want to torch all white people. Not only white people, but white evangelicals. What's happening here? Here's who broke this story. So hang on, and we'll get to the meat of who that is and why he said it. But here's who broke the story. This is from YouTube.
Hi, I'm Salvador Cordova. I've been a part of McLean Bible Church on and off for almost 40 years.
McLean Bible Church is David Platt's church.
And was recently appointed to the leadership of McLean Bible Church's Apologetics, Evidence, and Reasons for the Christian Faith ministry. However, what I'm going to say are only my words. It doesn't represent necessarily the views of the apologetics ministry or anyone else at McLean. It is my words. I voted no on the June 30th congregational meeting. I voted no against the current leadership. I plan to vote no at the July 18th meeting. Though I think most of what is taught at McLean is right, there are some things that the leaders say that are disconcerting, such as this statement by lead pastor of culture and preaching, Mike Kelsey.
Mike Kelsey, lead pastor of preaching and culture.
Let me bring it up here.
He's about to play the clip I just played for you.
Totally honest, so being angry about the situation, but it's difficult for me sometimes not to just torch all white people, because in particularly white evangelicals and Christians.
There's no context where any Christian should say anything like that, even close to that. Such a racially hateful comment for somebody with his position. I can't even understand it. Before we move forward, let me encourage you to go to BTWNnews.com. Check out the other content there. We've got blogs, we've got podcasts, we've got an event for men called the Builders Summit. And if you enjoy what I'm doing here, click on support our ministry. You can send a check. You can support via Patreon or PayPal. If you support on Patreon, you can get this content, all my content, without advertising, and you can help me out. And you can get early access. All right, moving forward. Capstone Report is the website. They're the entity that broke this story. Link in the description for this full story. Let me read for you the beginning of this article. McLean Bible Church apologist produces shocking video of MBC pastor saying he has issue with white evangelicals. An issue. Like, he struggles with wanting to torch them. The lead pastor of culture and preaching at McLean Bible Church is on video saying that he wants to torch white people, especially white evangelicals. The man who interviewed him, a member of the apologetics ministry leadership team, I think he's going to be excommunicated. I'm sure he won't be a member for very long, or leading that apologetic ministry for very long. He released video evidence of the racially charged comment made by one of McLean's Bible Church's top pastors. Top pastors. All right, who is this guy? This is David Platt's. David Platt is a very popular pastor. I would say he's probably one of the top 20 pastors in America. And he has written some books. And he's very emotional when he speaks. He is reform-ish, but he's also quite woke in regards to racial justice. And he's in Washington, D.C., so he has, because of his popularity and his poor theology, he has chosen to have 5 different locations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different locations. And this location here, each location has its own pastor. They probably all watch, like, normally what happens in a situation like this, the super popular pastor, he'll preach in one of those 5 locations each week. And to the other 4 locations, he'll be piped in via video and audio. And the lead pastor in that particular location will do the introduction. They'll do the worship songs. They'll do all the stuff. And then the main pastor will be piped in. It's not a biblical concept in any way. Lead pastors should be actually ministering to individuals. But anyway, you click on this Montgomery location, and what you will find is this gentleman, the man who has threatened David Platt's life with fire, Mike Kesley, lead pastor, preaching and culture. And I am not in a good mood. I just spent like an hour looking into this gentleman. I believe he is my brother in Christ. And I believe that he's off track. 100% off track. If you look at his Instagram, if you look at his posts on social media, more than half of them include a focus on his skin color and the history of disagreements and the war, quote unquote, war between white and black people, and highlighting the difference between him and white people. That's the best way to say it. Just highlighting his skin color and the struggles that his ancestors had versus the struggles or whatever of my ancestors. I was never a slaveholder. He was never a slave. Yet he wants me to focus on the fact that once people who look like him were slaves and people who look like me were slave owners. That is not the gospel of Jesus Christ. That is not the gospel of Jesus Christ. In the scriptures, the greatest struggle between culture was between Jew and Greek. And the scriptures say clearly there's no difference. The gospel brings us together, making Jew and Greek equal. Ethnicity is eliminated through the gospel of Jesus Christ. This man preaches regularly. This man supports BLM. BLM has 7 demands. This doesn't even touch on their main focus, where they say that they're against the nuclear family, which is mom, dad, and children under one roof. They're against that. They're against that. Well, anyway, BLM 7 demands. He's for this. He is for this. Convict and ban Trump from future political office. Some people think that Black Lives Matter is not a political movement in any way. Yet here are their demands. These are updated demands. This is right on their website. This is a thing they're promoting right now. 7 demands by BLM. Convict and ban Trump from future political office. Number 2, expel Republican members of Congress who attempted to overturn the election and incite a white supremacy attack. Number 3, launch a full investigation into the ties between white supremacy and the Capitol Police, law enforcement. Number 4, permanently ban Trump from all digital media. Black Lives Matter, so ban Trump from digital media. Number 5, defund the police. Wonderful. And idiotic. Number 6, don't let the coup be used as an excuse to crack down on our movement. Number 7, pass the Breathe Act. Link to this article in the description of this video if you want to go into it further. Let me play it again. David Platt is threatened with death by a member on his staff.
Totally honest, like, so being angry about the situation, but it's difficult for me sometimes not to just torch like all white people, because in particularly white evangelicals and Christians.
Yeah. Now I'll try to go to bed. Comment below. Thanks for watching. Go to BTWNnews.com. Check out my stuff there. Consider supporting this YouTube channel. I would appreciate it greatly. Until next video, I pray that no matter where you stand on this whole thing, that God would bless you with salvation and wisdom, biblical insight. And I will see you next time. See ya.